Hello, everyone. We are here. We're going to talk to my amazing friend, Mila Jam. We're here to talk about Black Trans Lives Matter movement. Hold on, I'm trying to pin her. Oh, hold on. Okay, got it. I'm getting good at this now. Sort of. Hey, Chibo. Thank you for joining. Got it. Pin. Perfect. Okay. So, how's everyone feeling today? I am feeling, more optimistic the last couple days than I have, so I hope that energy is with all of you as well. We're going to talk to Mila Jam, a really good friend of mine, and I'm excited to chat with her about herself and, really explain, Black Trans Lives Matter. I think, it hopefully will be informative for people. So, and what are you guys, what's your vibe today? Hey, Red, nice to see you. Hey, Sydney. Sydney, my biggest fan. I don't think she's missed one of these talks. I'm wearing green. It's Mila's favorite color. Hopefully she appreciates that. Chandra, nice to see you. Also one of my biggest fans. I don't think Chandra's ever missed one either. Hey. Red, how you been? My hat is doing something weird today. My favorite hat. Yes, green for Mila. Hopeful about optimistic, Chibo. That's great. I feel, the same. I said it's been a long time coming, a painful process, but a necessary process. I also, there's a meme that I love. Good, Red's feeling better. It said, some are posting... some are protesting, some are donating silently, some are educating themselves, some are having tough conversations. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme. It says, a revolution has many lanes. Be kind to yourself and others. Just make sure your foot is on the gas. I love that. That's kind of like my vibe right now as well. So, oh, Mila is late. That's not like Mila. Let me text her. Making a grand entrance, I'm sure, right? Hey, Erica, how are you? Thank you for joining, everybody. Oh, she's here. Okay, great. I was just texting you, Mila. It's not like you to be late. So, Mila, you're going to join and I'll accept you, right? Yay, Mila. Yes, green hearts for you, everybody. Want me to request you, Mila? Sent. Okay, no worries. Got you. I just requested you, Mila. Hey, Sarah. Thank you for joining. So, Mila, I just requested you. You should see it now, and then you just join. Oh, okay. Got it. Perfect.
Hi.
Hi, Boo. How are you?
I was waiting for you, and I was like, I'm sitting here just so patiently waiting and watching you in your green. I love the green.
Well, first of all, the green obviously is for you.
Thank you.
100% for you, obviously.
You're one of the last people that I saw before all of this went down.
I know, it's pretty crazy. We saw each other on March 12th in New York. My birthday is March 14th, and Frank Roberts, actually, who you know, he was really insistent that we kind of celebrate my birthday dinner, which I was against, but you braved a lot of things, like you know, a small group of
We
people
thought
did
it
to
was the
come.
end of the. We were like, this might be the Last Supper.
You know, and to be honest, it was kind of poignant. And he said to me, he said, I tried to cancel it that day, and he said, no, we should do it. He's like, this may be the last time we all party for a long time, and guess what? It sure was. So I'm like, so Mila, first, I did wear green for you, obviously, you know.
Thank you.
And what about green? What's green like? Why are you so attracted to green?
Okay, so it has become like a favorite color of mine just because, like, as an artist, I think we're always looking for something to kind of give us that edge and kind of signify us and brand us. And one day, my hairstylist, shout out to my hairstylist, Dee Tranny Bear, who I love so
Yes,
much.
yes,
Dee
we all do.
was, I was in Dee's place. We were doing like a wig-a-thon, if you will, and getting our wig on.
That sounds
And
fun.
there was a green wig, I think I remembered, that they pulled out. And I was like, maybe this is something I should try. And I did a photo shoot like the next day or so. And it was like, it was just so specific and vibrant. And people have been like, you look good in green hair, your skin tone matches, and it just looks great. So ever since
Well,
then, I've just
like
loved
you,
it.
would you say specific and vibrant, like you? But my thing is, you know, yeah, it's really kind of like I think of like you know when I was thinking of you, I'm like green. I want to wear green tag for you, so it's really interesting. You're right. It's stuck basically. That's what it
And
is. You're
I
right.
also think it means growth. I think
Yeah.
it means growth. I think it means organic. I think it means life. I think it means money. I think it
That's
means
what I was thinking the whole time. It means money,
all those
honey.
things, honey. Money, honey.
I like
But
that.
yeah,
That's what I think. Okay, so Mila, you know, first of all, I want to thank you for doing this with me.
of
You know,
course.
I first want to say that, you know, you're such a enthusiastic and a really excited person, and I really appreciate that about you. You know, you've always just been really excited, and I really like that about you. You mean, and you've also been extremely supportive of me. Anytime I've asked you to host or do anything, you've been like, you know, absolutely. Hey, Trace just joined.
Trace, what's up?
Um,
That's my sis, y'all. Hey, sis.
Yes, we love Trace.
I
So
love you.
I just want to, you know, kind of acknowledge how supportive you are of me, first of all, and just, you know, say that I really just think you're like a great human. You know, I love that about you.
I I love you, Damon. I really do. I think you have the ability to bring people together that may or may not ever come together. It's like that's the beauty of what you do, and I think all of us, we all love you for many various reasons. But over the years, it's just been such a joy to be able to build a friendship, you know, and build a level of camaraderie and family and trust. And it's always a good time, you know. You always keep the spirit
You
is
too.
always right when we're with you, Damon. We love you.
Thank you. I love you too. But you also, when you come, I remember at the audition, you know, and you, I just remember you voguing on the floor. Like it was like, it's like a hotel lobby, but I love, you know, I love
Just
that too.
carrying.
Also, another thing I must point out about you and I, what's your sign, by the way? I didn't know. I was thinking about it.
Pisces.
That's, I thought, I
Yeah,
knew
we're
it.
the
So
same
funny.
thing.
I knew it. So funny. Because another thing we have in common besides being Pisces is that we both love tea.
Yes. That
Listen,
and what kind of tea?
green
Green
tea.
tea.
Listen, you and I will be at a party. There'll be champagne bottles flying everywhere. We're both like, we'll take a green tea. I mean, I drink. Do you drink?
No, and you ask me
Yeah.
all the time. We're always talking about drinking. I'm so not a drinker. I'm like, give
I
me a
mean,
cup of tea. I
yeah,
prefer
I
tea.
listen. My favorite beverages, actually, the only three beverages I drink in life are water, green tea, and wine. You know what I mean? I love the combination in that order too. Okay, so we're here to talk about you. So
Hi,
I think that,
Erica. I do love matcha. Erica's just commented.
oh, great. Um, I think your performances are also very amazing. You know, I saw you at, was it Glad or Out last year?
Was glad.
Glad, yeah. So
The
I saw you at
glad
Glad last
art.
year, which is amazing. I think I was going through your Instagram today too. You were posting it, you know, things from there. Also, I love what you said. You missed your boyfriend, was it? Festivals?
I missed my boyfriend.
Yeah, festivals. Doing festivals. You missed your
I miss
boyfriend?
my boyfriend doing festivals. That's my
Yeah, exactly.
boyfriend. The love of
Yeah,
my life.
exactly. I was like, that's hilarious. And you know, so in case anyone doesn't know on here, you know, I think that what describe your music style? What's your music style?
I'm a '90s R&B influenced pop artist.
Yeah.
But I love pop music, and I was raised on R&B and soul, and I love dance music. So my stuff is like a fusion of a little bit of pop and a little bit of R&B and a little bit of dance.
Yeah.
And I used to do house music. I used to be with a label that did like housey dance music. So there's some of that stuff in there too. But more these days, my music and my sound is more pop, dance pop.
And to me, you're one of those people you're a performer. You know, you're not like a singer that's like standing there. You're like, you're a performer. And like, what have been some of your like highlight performances, do you think, for you?
Glad was actually one of them. Glad was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
It was an amazing opportunity for me.
That was the first time I saw you perform on that level, you know, because you had performed for me a few times and things like that, and it was amazing. You know, but then also you did the Zoom for me recently, about a month ago. You did
Zoom.
But my thing is, so, you know, Joseph Solis, I don't know if he's on here, but we were talking about it after, and it was like, you know, I've had, I think, 8 performances, and the Zoom we're all kind of figuring out as we go along. Right. And in your living room, you had like costume changes and set changes and like fans, all these things, and I was like, that was like pretty much major performance from your living room for the Zoom, and extremely creative. So I think that, you know, that was very impressive to me, but, you know, and amazing.
I'm a creative person, I think.
Well, where do you think you get your creativity from?
Being a little black kid raised in the South with nothing to do. Because, no, I mean, I think I get it from honestly, I think I get it from my aunt and my mother. My mother is like my supporter, cheerleader, you know, my ride or die. But my aunt, she's a famous photographer, and she was always like this creative light growing up. And she was always like, you can do anything and be anything. So I think, I don't know, I think I got some of that from her.
I say too, because I'm from Detroit, and like, you know, same thing. Being in Detroit is an amazing, rich in culture, but also very gray. So I'm like, it makes you creative, kind of like being...
you're bored.
Say again?
You're bored, and you want to create something and do something.
Well, I think non-creative environments spark creativity. That's what I really think sometimes. You know, if you're around too much creativity, to me, like, I don't like going to art openings a lot of times, because if it's an artist I really want to see, because I want to look at the art, but there's too many people around, so I can't, it doesn't, you know, like, I don't
really enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't like overstimulated creative environments, actually. You know, it's like, you know, I like to, you know, you're right, it comes out of like, when you're not in a creative environment, that's when you get creative, basically.
Yeah, I agree.
You talked about your aunt. Who kind of inspired you think, to, in general, I guess, growing up or in general?
Oh, I mean, I was inspired by all of the icons. Like, I'm just an icon baby. Like Michael, Janet, Whitney, Mariah. I mean, these are like the people that were Brandy. I mean, I am like literally like, I studied the Bible of Brandy. Like like if there were a vocal school, I would have gone to the school of Whitney and Brandy.
I went to the school of Prince, Madonna, and Michael, just so you know what school I went to.
There you go. Yeah.
I graduated with all A's from that school, by the way.
Hello. And I haven't really said this a lot, but I always forget like to say this, and when people ask me this question, but like, I was really highly influenced by Anita Baker.
Also from Detroit, like me.
This iconic though, like my mother loved Anita Baker and played her all the time. Yeah.
Well, I believe that, you know, the music your parents listened to, and I believe those, like I would say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, those are really creatively shaping years, because that kind of explains, I've had lots of talks, I always ask people around those ages, like, what were their songs and stuff, because I think that it tells exactly who you're going to be as a creative adult, those years, you know, like not even teenage years so much, those before teenage years, you know, so. Yeah,
they set you up. Everyone's commenting. I look back on all those times.
No, I love Anita.
And I must have been blind. Okay, I live.
By all means. This is about you tonight, boo. Listen, we should do a performance at the end. Now that I should have thought about that, right?
I would have a costume change. You know me. I'd be like.
I know you would. Okay, and then so who inspires you now? You think it could be anybody. It doesn't have to be musically. It's just in life in general. What's a really inspirational person to you at the moment?
Oh, that's a good one. Listen, I'm really inspired by my sisters right now. By the trans women in my life, honey. Let me just tell you, I'm really inspired by these women. You know, some of my sisters like Trace, Laverne Cox, you know, Deja Smith and Peppermint, and Jocelyn DeFries and like MJ, Those are
Yep.
like my homies, my cots. They
Yep.
are inspiring to me, especially in this time. Yeah.
Yep. I will say this too, because I know almost every single person you just mentioned fairly, very well. And you all are so supportive of each other, which is so beautiful to see. You guys are really sisters, and it's really beautiful
Necessary.
to see. I've seen all of you supporting each other in various situations and for real supporting. You know, it's a really it's a real sisterhood.
Sisterhood. Yeah.
And I've said this about Laverne many, many times, so I know you're a very close friend, and I've known her for many years. I don't think the world, I don't think that she set out to be the trans spokesperson, but the world kind of made her out to be that from the beginning, and she like so graciously and gloriously stepped into that role. You know, I think that, you know, she just was trying to be an actress and live her life and things, and the world was like, no, this is actually what's going on here. And I really, really respect her for how she just stepped in that role. Like, you know,
Yeah, you
so
know, it's a journey for me because I've been behind the scenes, seen all of the roads she's taken before this
yep,
even happened. And,
yep,
you know, I think we all come from this cloth where we just believe in what we do. And like, there could be nobody paying attention. And like me, I'm
yep.
giving performances in my bedroom. Um, it's like,
And
I,
good ones, by the way, good ones.
yeah, I'm totally like Britney in Crossroads, where she's like on the bed singing and she's like, I'm very that, but she always been so dedicated to just her art and her craft. That
Yeah,
woman
yeah,
loves what she does. She could
yeah,
care less if it was getting an award or if people were
yeah,
recognizing it.
yeah.
So, you know, I feel that way too. I love the
Well,
art
you're an artist.
of
Your
performance.
soul is a yeah. Your soul is an artist. I mean, so that's
Yeah,
great.
it's a
Uh,
calling.
yeah. No, and like I said, I'm so happy to be celebrating you a lot. I feel like, you know, you and I have done a lot of things in the past even year. And like you said, you know, maybe we've known each other, but I would say it's, you know, people connect when they connect. You know, I know people, but I connect with them at a certain given time. So I think that's
Yeah.
happening for you in a great way right now. So I love
Yes.
that. Okay, so we are here to talk about, you know, Black Trans Lives Matter. And what I've realized is that even in the past 2 weeks, which what's going on in the world is that things that I just think are common sense and things that I know, a lot of people don't know, and that's across the board. So I was pretty, I won't say shocked, I would say surprised by the fact that these common things that are very common knowledge to me are not common knowledge to the rest of the world. So, or not the rest of the world, a lot of different people that I would just assume, oh yeah, they would know that. But I don't know if it's based off of, you know, I don't know, my experiences or whatever. But so I do want to just talk to you a little, you know, about these situations so that we can share these stories with people, because I don't know. I just want to share, basically.
Yeah,
You know,
I
see what I'm
believe
saying?
that a lot of people are just kind of figuring out that they've been um, not everyone, but a lot of people have just been naive to what they
Mm-hmm.
can't see, what they haven't been able to
Yeah,
tap
people have been
into.
lazy. People have been lazy about learning for sure. You know, so
Lazy, and we are very privileged. I think in this country, we're very spoiled.
yeah,
When I travel internationally, I always ask people how they see Americans and what they think about our country, and they all have the same, a lot of them have made the same answers, which is if they've never been here,
yeah,
that we all are wealthy, we're all famous, we're all wealthy, and it's all a dream and everything is perfect.
yeah,
And I'm like, I'm quick to tell them, no, that's not how it is. There's so much, um, you know, like we have a lot of differences, and it's not really set up for all of us to sort of flourish and thrive the way that we think we can. So we have this narrative and this ideal of a dream that we're all sort of chasing after, but it's not really like the playing field's obviously not level. So
yeah.
it's a little interesting to have these conversations.
Well, and I want to say one more thing, is that I have said this several times. I do not believe it is a Black person's job to show a white person how they can help right now in this moment. I believe it's a white person's job to figure out how they can help, period, end of discussion. You know, that's my point. You know, I'm like, yo, if you can't find something to do right now to help, you are the problem. You know, so that's just my own thing.
Yeah,
So,
to
you know,
me also it's about having allies and friends and white people that get it, talking to
yeah,
white people that
yeah,
don't get it. I'm blessed with friends that get it, and
yeah,
they're like, Mila, if someone is coming at you, like, let me deal with it and let me talk to them. Pass me over, tag
yeah.
me. And I've had a couple of conversations. This week has been heavy. This has been a very heavy week.
No, no,
We
I
had
know,
this. So I mean,
I know.
I'm sending out like a lot of love and energy to everyone watching, because it's been stressful. This week has been, you know, we're still dealing with the pandemic. We're still dealing with the president. People are trying
Yeah,
to vote. People are not voting. We're
yeah,
protesting. We're marching. People are
yeah,
getting, you know, stampeded on, and we're dealing with funerals, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, it's like, yeah, the best way to say it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. So before we even get into it, how are you doing, first of all, you, with all
I,
that?
what's I have been anxious, and it's gotten better, but like the beginning of this week started out with some anxiety. Also, on Monday, I went to the Pride Vigil rally in Sheridan Square,
Yeah.
at Stonewall, and I was just asked to speak the names of all of our trans brothers and sisters that have been murdered senselessly. And I got there, and they asked me if I wanted to speak, and I didn't want to speak. I just thought I would just, be in the moment, be present. I didn't really want it to be about me. And that was so funny, because they were like, this moment is for you. This is trans women and Blackness, and you get up on the bench and say your piece. And I was kind of like, funny enough, I was like, I don't really want to say anything. I just want to sit here. I just want to like be in the moment. And then right before I started to read the names, I got up to speak what was on my heart.
Yeah.
And that's just what I said is what I felt and what came out. And I started to break down, and I was bawling and I was crying,
Yeah.
but I felt so connected in the moment to everyone there.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful moment. And after that day, I had not even expected, it to sort of go viral and people to start talking about it so much.
Yeah.
And my anxiety has just been like up and down, just because
Yeah.
of, honestly, because of in the movement in Black Lives Matter, we're having conflicts and discussions, even in our own community, about queer people being a part of this and having value, and, fighting Black brothers and sisters about, my own life.
Yeah.
So that has been conflicting. But I've been good for the most part. I feel like I feel blessed. I feel sane. I feel hydrated, and I'm just, taking care of myself.
You feel full of green tea. So
I'm full of
like,
green tea, and I'm doing the best that I think I can do, and I think that's what a lot of people are doing.
yeah, I think that's all we can ask for at the moment, too, to be honest. Um, Okay, so getting back to, I really do want to kind of get into some statistics and things, because I really do not believe people know these basic things, in my opinion. I don't think people probably think about it or are really aware of like the average Black trans woman's experience.
Yeah.
So, I know this fact, but I told someone today, and were shocked, is the life expectancy of a
Black
woman
trans
of color.
women. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Black trans women is what?
35.
Yes. So I think that, I've known that for a long time, and it's still giving me the chills right now. But I think that doesn't even register for some people. So I think it's really important to share these conversations with people that are not you and me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was also even not even a real like discussion until maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, because we didn't even have the information about it. Like we weren't even
Yeah.
really sure what
Which
the
is,
number was.
yeah, which is part of the huge problem that, it's not even documented or whatever, so,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah. I mean, trans women, Black trans women, have just at an alarming rate are, we have never really fit into society. We've never been protected. We've never
yeah,
had rights and laws that were specific to us and to our well-being and to
yeah,
our health. We've
yeah,
always had to sort of like, go around the building and come through the back window to get, whatever our health stuff, and just to figure out our lives.
hmm
And at the end of the
to
day, it's like
navigate it, to
to
navigate it in
navigate.
such, yeah.
Yeah. And then like we're constantly being attacked while simultaneously being sought after. Like people are attracted to us. People are interested in us, and they want to,
Well, no, well, simultaneously trying to fall in love and become pop stars and all these different things. There's a lot, just him saying, I'm like, that's a lot, right? That's a lot, girl,
I mean, I'll
but
say to be a Black trans woman is to literally be a walking conflict for like most people, because especially people in the dating world, like men dating straight identified men, they are so easy to just be like, I see what I like. I am connecting with what
yeah,
is in front of me. I see
visually.
this woman, and she's her essence and all this stuff. and then you give them other information, and then they're kind of like, they have to go back and process that. And
Yes.
the unfortunate reality is that when they don't know how to process it, they just attack it.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, a primary reason why they end up attacking us and hurting us and trying to kill us.
Well, I think they don't. Yeah, they don't know how to process it. You know, it's like I don't,
And
you know,
there's no
like
one who ever tells them, these feelings are okay. It's
yeah.
also homophobia, with the transphobia, because they're like, everyone identifies it as being gay,
Yep.
but like they can't decide for themselves who they really are.
Well, actually, you know what it is? There should be somebody to stand up and say it, like someone that is identified as a straight male, stand up and say, I have gone through this. It's okay. That's actually there is no person that's ever done that.
Let
Actually,
me
that I know
tell
of.
you, Damon, we're waiting for that person to stand up. It has been the most
Yeah.
difficult thing to find the
Yeah.
right person to
Yep. You're
actually
right.
maybe use their platform
Yep. You're right.
to stand up and say,
Yep.
I, appreciate trans women.
Yep.
It's even as simple as saying, I appreciate trans women. They're beautiful to me.
Yep.
I've dated trans women in my life. I've had so many conversations with men who literally won't talk about it because they feel like no guy will stand up and actually
Yeah.
discuss it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is like, and when I say these names, I'm not saying that they, are seeing trans women. I don't know them, but like, we need like LeBron James, or we need like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many people I can't even name right now. It's frustrating
Right.
to think that there's so many prominent figures in our culture
Yeah.
that have had relationships with trans women that
Yeah.
can't speak on it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so you're right. That's the goal. Get one person to stand up and kind of,
No,
be an
I think we
example.
need 5.
Well, one is, let's start with one. One is better than zero. And then also something else, which again, I want to inform people with this conversation. I don't think people even understand that there is discrimination within the LGBTQ community. I don't think people get that at all. So, what is your experience with that, or like, what is your take
You
on all
mean in
that?
the community itself?
Yes, correct. Within the community, you mean?
Yeah, I think there's just confusion because people have sort of there's been a long narrative of like, you're either gay or you're straight. You're either this
Yeah.
or you're that. And it has been
Yeah.
so definitive. The vocabulary has changed. It's changed so much over the last couple of years. Like in the last 10
Yeah.
years, it's
Yeah.
been like, we have all these
Even
words
5
we've
years.
added.
5 years, yeah.
We have all these, identities that have now new recognition, even though they've always existed.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of gay men specifically think that trans women are a threat because we potentially date the men that they like or that they want. And the one thing I'll say about that is if a gay man has, and I know that gay men have had relations with straight men. It happens all the time. A lot of straight men like to, have their fun with gay men. They may or may not ever end up in relationships. But I'll tell you this, to be in a relationship with a man as a woman is a whole different experience. And you rarely see eye to eye. And my perspective as a woman is so different from a man's perspective for the most part. And so a lot of these gay men feel like, oh, well, you used to be a man or you're just still a man anyway. I don't know why they would want to be with you. If you can be with them, they could be with me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can, but it's not under the guise of like me being misgendered. Like,
So but you think it's kind of based off of like a jealousy thing, or kind of, or
oh yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
All
I
right.
think that has been a root of it for a long time.
Interesting.
I think that a lot of, also, I think it's just a little bit of like, gay men kind of lead this idea of the community, the queer community, and they just don't care.
Yeah.
They
You're
think that
right.
it's all, about them. And I at times have I feel like my sisters and I are conflicted because although we are in the queer community, we are part of the queer community, we are not based, our likeness is not about our sexuality, because being trans is a gender identity. It's not about who you want to go to sleep with. So being LGBTQIA is about sexuality, or at least being LG and B, that's about who you want to sleep with. But being trans is
Right.
not about who you want to sleep with. Being trans is about connecting those dots. We're like, I know this is who I am. No matter what you told me when I was born, this is who I am on the inside, and that should be reflected on the outside.
Yes, amazingness. Thank you. This is exactly what I want this conversation to be. I think, we need to, and I think information right now is the best tool for all this. I mean, so
Right.
this
And
navigating this.
sexuality, people are commenting, sexuality is a spectrum. We do know that. There is really there's no way to exist in sexuality. There's so many different variations of that.
Okay, so Black trans lives matter. There's, again, these are things that you and I both know, but so many trans women, Black trans women get killed often, and it's overlooked, and it's not, it doesn't garner attention the way
Because we
that,
don't have value in the world. We are fighting for our human value.
Yeah.
We are not humanized.
Yeah.
And this is the same conversation that's happening with my Black brothers and sisters on MSNBC, on TV. We're basically saying to white people in white America that we're not humanized. So, when we're not humanized as trans people and as trans women, people definitely don't care. They don't understand. They don't want to give us the time of day. The small, portion of notice that we'll get is if we're passable and we are we can assimilate or we can fit into the fray, and people don't know that we're trans. They're just not aware of it, so they it's over their head, but that's not a real way. That's not a true way to be, because you and I both want to be liked for who we are, because I think that you get the best of a person when they can be authentically themselves. And I was just thinking about this thought today. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. But I was thinking about this today. In dating, what really sucks is whenever you meet someone, you want to tell them, you want to tell friends about that. You want to tell family about that. You want to be like, I want to share this, that I had a great date with this guy and da-da-da-da, whatever. I think about how many men that date trans women on the low don't keep that to themselves. Don't ever get to share that to people. They don't ever get to be excited to tell their homeboy, yo, I met this dope girl and we've been kicking it. I don't know what's gonna happen, but she's kind of cute and I'm feeling her. They might do it and just leave out all the details. But I even believe that when they know a girl is trans, they're conflicted in themselves to the point where they don't even want to tell anybody they met a girl, because they're so nervous about it. They're so conflicted about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I think, okay, let me ask you this question. What does Black Trans Lives Matter mean to you?
Black Trans Lives Matters to me that we are a pinnacle in the movement that is at every moment of the day is on the brink of being forgotten.
Yeah.
We're fighting, we're marching, we're protesting, we're out there getting, we're doing the work, and we feel like we're invisible at times. Like I said, the conversation within our own community is so conflicting for people, because I keep saying this, it's not about feelings, it's about change. So I don't really care how you feel about me being trans. And I don't care what's going on in your pants about it. I don't care what's going on in your mind about it. The real point is we are trying to make change collectively. So let's get these white people who want to join us. Come on. Who want to join us? Come on. And let's do this. I need to hear more men of color, straight men of color, Black men speak out and say, trans Black lives matter too. Queer Black lives matter too. If you need to put a disclaimer, no homo or whatever, or no trans interested, but just letting it be known that we are a part of this too is really, I think, what we're just trying to, get.
It's the death and life of Marsha P. Johnson. That movie, I think, is a really interesting movie for someone to watch if they were not knowledgeable, I think, in this topic. She died, I think, in 1992. Do you know?
Yes.
Exactly?
I believe it was, in 92. I actually spoke with someone that used to know her.
Yeah.
And she told me, you know, when they found her, I believe it was in the East River or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
with her flowers.
Yeah.
Um, it's really awful because I imagine what Marsha P. Johnson, I really imagine how she would feel because I don't know her, obviously. And a lot of people have taken her likeness and we have put it on a pedestal and glorified her, which I think she deserves. But we don't know who she was really and what she kind of thought about everything, her
Yeah.
specific viewpoints. And it'd be so interesting and fascinating to me to know what she would think about the vocabulary we have now,
Yeah.
the
About
identity
now, you mean?
descriptions.
You mean about
Yeah.
what she, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we consider her, she's a black trans woman. And, but like back in that time, even though transness was really like a thing, like, you know, there's Christine Jorgensen and other trans women who had transitioned um, way prior to like the Stonewall rights movement. Um, I just wonder, like, there was just a sense of, I just want to exist and be me, whatever that feels like. And I
You're
don't need
right.
to
You're right.
define it.
You're right.
And
You're right. So, just in case anyone doesn't know in here, what is her title? She was like, a black trans, the first, or like, was she the first, or
she
was
was
she?
I mean, yeah, she was the first black trans
Yeah,
woman. She basically started the Stonewall riots.
yeah. And her and Sylvia Rivera. I just suggest watching that movie. It's a really informative, great movie. Sad, obviously,
Yeah.
but realistic. But
I
realistic.
mean,
Because
I
basically,
would say too that like Marsha P. Johnson was more of the it's like she's like the Mother Teresa of the gay community.
yeah, the community.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and but Sylvia Rivera, don't get it twisted, she was the like Angela Davis
Yeah,
of,
she's a fighter.
she
She's a
was
fighter.
like, I mean business, because a lot of
You're
people,
right. You're right. You're right. They're two different personalities,
they're
and
so, yeah,
they were besties, and they were
yeah,
besties.
because Sylvia was not having it, and a
You're
lot of
right.
people
You're
were
right.
not having her. She was
Yeah.
speaking out on rights and
Yep.
issues, and people were like dogging her.
Yeah. But also, the thing about Marsha, which is about the movie, is that when she died, basically nobody, it was not even, no one cared, basically, in
No one
quotes.
cared. Yeah.
So that's why her other friend did the movie, because she just even acknowledge the fact that, I don't know, it was a really interesting part of the movie, is that, it's a typical story time and time and time again when
Right.
black trans woman gets killed. It's just thrown to the side, and that movie, it's just really informative. But do you think it has changed much actually since then? It has to have, but like,
Yeah, it's changed in
yeah,
ways,
yeah,
but it still is not what it's supposed to be.
yeah.
Yeah. It's changed, but it's not what it's supposed to be.
Well,
And I was
go.
talking to one of the girls the other day about what it feels like. I've even witnessed in my life, you know, the shift and the difference between being trans when
Yeah.
there's no one on TV that's trans and when there's not a tipping point, and
Oh yeah.
what that feels like versus
Yeah.
like being visibly trans in
Yep.
media. Because
Yep.
I did projects, I was a part of many projects that never got, I had been involved with so many different reality series that
Yeah.
never got picked up, that never got greenlit
Yeah.
because people were scared they would not meet their advertisement quota.
Yeah.
And so like now it's just crazy to see it happening.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, listen, it's great that it's happening. And then, one thing we have to talk about is what happened. What day was it? A couple days, like what day that
Ayana
happened?
Dior.
Yeah, Rihanna. So like,
So I'm finding out some new news about this.
okay.
Um, I don't know the story, but allegedly there was an altercation that happened, something to the effect of like a car fender bender moment
Yeah, I
or
heard that too.
something.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a tussle based off of like, people just being, not having it. And what is interesting to me is when we do see like a tape or a visual of something going down. I mean, I personally, I don't know about you, but I personally look at like, how serious did it have to be to have people like being like smashed, their head being smashed up against like a freezer, or like getting capped, or it just like, to me it's like it seems extreme.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened, but
Yeah.
I'm immediately triggered, especially when it's a black trans woman,
Yep.
because we all know that black trans women are not valued the way that they should be in this
Yeah.
country and in
Yeah.
many other countries too. And so, yeah, it's just a heightened situation that really pisses me off.
Well, it's like it was like I felt it. I'm sure you obviously felt it so much more during this specific time. Like, come on. I mean, I was like, it was so just like,
This is heightened and is unnecessary.
yeah.
And trying to get the facts because in the world we live in, the information just travels so fast. It's just like
Yeah.
videos travel. You see a
Yeah.
video and it's
Yeah.
viral, and it's like everyone's
Yeah.
like, ah. I was like, well,
You see it on your feed 40 times in the first in 2 minutes, something like that. So, um, so there is something that that I think is amazing. So, Philippe Cunningham. So, do you know who that is, or?
don't think I do.
Okay, good. Okay, so Philippe and I just became aware of him because Barack Obama's town hall meeting the other day,
Yeah.
and I was kind of extremely inspired and did some research and things. So in 2018, Philippe Cunningham is a trans male, was nominated for a city council, and he gave a speech during, it was Barack and then the host and then him, and he just was like, he's 33 and he knows he knows what the heck he's doing, and it was so
Yeah.
inspirational. And even Barack was like, I'm floored by you, like, praising him and all these
Yeah.
amazing things. So I was really inspired by him in particular, and I thought it was really amazing. But so I did some more research, and they said in 2018, Andrea Jenkins, you know who that is?
I don't know.
She's another. Basically, both of them got in 2018. Both got nominated for city council in Minnesota. First two black trans people of color in history, both in the same year, both in the same state. So
No, I
that's
didn't
really
know
amazing.
this is needed.
That's what I
I
think.
need to know this.
That's what I think. So my thing is that things are things are going in every direction. But that's a
There are
really great.
opportunities, and I think
Yeah.
that we have to really center ourselves more around those, because I've been saying to
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
organizations, I've been saying to all kinds of people wanting to do panel discussions, like
Yep.
look at the resources you have, and like
Yep.
get black trans people involved, but like
Yep.
get them involved to get paid, because like
Yep.
that's another conversation we need to be specific about. A lot of people
Yep.
will be like, the opportunity is good enough for you, but like, no, because black trans people don't really have a lot of outlets to make money. It's very hard to find work. So pay them, like pay us.
Yeah, that's right. That's another. Yeah. So like it is. Well, I mean, do you think in 2020 it's hard for a black trans person, harder for a 20-year-old black trans girl than it is for like a 20-year-old black cis girl? Do you think it is harder?
I will say that I think that they're both hard, but I think
Yeah.
that the black trans woman really doesn't have a refuge. And when I say
Yeah.
that, I think black cis women that a lot primarily, rely on themselves and maybe their sisterhood or a few family members. At least there's a layer of acceptance within our culture that has space for them.
Yeah.
But black
Yeah.
trans women, there's no space
Yeah.
for us that's created for us. That's even
Yeah.
like, that says that you're okay here. You're
Yeah.
safe here. Like it's
Yeah.
okay to be you.
Yeah. Um. So, I mean, do you have any suggestions on how to advance things, basically? What are your, you're an optimistic and very
I
hopeful
think a
human being. I
lot of
know
it
that.
for me is just really addressing these things with black cis men and
Yep.
and patriarchy and the men in this country that sort of run things. Someone made a
Yeah.
comment earlier about, I think they mentioned a comment about Malik Yoba,
Yeah.
and I know that Malik Yoba was someone really trying to step out for the community, um, and I think that we all have like places where you might fall short. And so it's
Yeah.
like, that's kind of why I said we need more than just one person. As well, we
Yeah.
need 5, we need 10, we need 20, because I know that they
Yeah.
exist, because we all know
Yeah.
that they exist, and we just
Yeah.
choose not to believe it. But like,
Yeah.
that will elevate you know, the variety of experiences, because we're a variety of people. You know, we're not all the
Great.
same, you know, but we're in lifting up Black Lives Matter. We need to be lifting up Black trans lives mattering too, because we have given so much, we give so much to the culture.
Imani on here is saying they let Malik take the heat all alone. Yeah, that's a good point, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think about Dwayne Wade and Zaya and everything, all that? You know, I said, to me, I think that Dwayne Wade did such a great thing because he's not speaking to like us. He's speaking to his target demographic, which is black, straight, white,
Actually,
black men
that's
and
exactly
straight.
what you mean right there, and what he's doing is exactly what I think needs to be happening across the board.
That's my point.
It's to bridge the gap.
Yes, because what I said about him is that, and a lot of people, you know, like, what's the big deal? Like, no, I think it's a very big deal because white and black straight men love him. And so if you love Dwayne Wade, which, because he's in the top 3 basketball players, you know, in the past 20 years, then they've loved him for so long, and then he endorses this, then no matter what, it's going into their brains and seeping into their brains, and it's just opening them up. They have to, realistically, even if they don't want to get on board with it, they have to accept it. You see what I'm saying?
What's beautiful about Dwayne Wade is that there are men that he can reach that are still trying to figure out how they feel about it, but are also trying to be like cordial and trying to be respectful. And so, you know, they're doing that thing where, you know, when people first come out of the closet with their family, they kind of get things wrong and are kind of like a little clunky with it. And so, I mean, I don't know Dwayne Wade personally, but he is the model example of what I think parents should represent. And I think he gets brownie points for being a black man.
I absolutely agree with you 100%. But I say that Gabrielle Union and Dwayne both, for Zaya to be so eloquent, I think, Gabrielle's awesome. We all love her. But my thing is, you know, I even said it's no shade to her at all, obviously, but if she, you know, when she kind of like was, you know, letting the world know and things, that makes sense. People, you know, that makes a lot of sense. Dwayne Wade, his target demo is my point. It's very impactful. But I will say, Zaya, when she was, I think, 12, kind of, when she was saying, you know, articulating all these things and felt so confident and so articulate, you could tell it's because of how she was raised by 2 great parents. You could tell that. You mean, so just kudos to them and that whole situation. But, okay, so anything else that you want to kind of discuss or, you know, kind of like talk about, whether it be you, yourself? How can we support you right now? You. Yes.
The most important thing you can do is literally go on your Spotify and stream the cornucopia of music that I have released. You can go on any music platform and you can find me, and it's just Mila Jam. I'm the only one. I would also say, you know, to just keep up with me on my socials on @TheMilaJam. You can check out my website to @TheMilaJam.com. But I've been curating a lot of cool things, projects. You know, I've got some Pride things that are coming up. They'll be posted on my Instagram, so you can do that and keep up with that. And donate to, I mean, listen, you know, we're in a weird time with like finances and stuff, and a lot of people, you know, don't have jobs. But like, if you have the means, you know, donate to a trans, specifically a Black trans organization.
Let me ask you this. So I put her Cash App on here, but like, you know, do you want me to put your Cash App?
Please.
So my thing is like, you know, there's no shame right now in putting in Cash App. You know, we're not working.
I have a Venmo. I would prefer if you can do Venmo.
Okay. So when I post this, I'm going to attach your Venmo to this. If anyone wants to, you know, I call them tips, but you know, like if anyone wants to like,
I love you. I love Australia.
Amazing. Yeah, like, you know, I'm saying, can we help you in any way? You know, I put my Cash App on these talks sometimes. I don't, you know, I'm not working. So my thing is your Venmo, and then your music, obviously, and then any other way that we can, that people on here can support you. I see people saying about your music, say done and done. They're going to, you know, stream it, all that stuff. So yeah, everyone's saying they need your Cash App or your Venmo.
Honestly, I would say we really do. This world really operates like by word of mouth, by sharing with friends and talking about things that you discovered. And, you know, in this time, I've had many times where it's been a little weird because as a Black trans woman and an artist, I would think that it'd be hard to tell someone to follow me because they would be like, well, why would I want to listen to a Black trans artist? Because I grew up on cis, artists, and I never saw myself. And I feel that the reason I'm here is so that women and other young people like me can see what can happen. So tell your friends and tell the people like just say our names, like say my name to them. Just say, do you know Mila Jam? You need to know Mila Jam. Like that's really what it is.
Yep. Hi, my darling. So anything else you want to share before we wrap it up? I truly, listen, you are an amazing person. I love you very much. I think that you're, like I said, when I first started talking, your enthusiasm and your passion and, your energy, you always have so much energy in a great way. And I really love that about you. I really love you're really optimistic. I really love your optimism. And, you are, you're like, you're not going to let this world beat you down. I love that. Like you're a real survivor, but a really optimistic, lovely human being. I really love that about you, so.
I'll say that we just really need to take care of each other. We need to listen to each other. We need to make space for each other. And I'm really a believer in the more that you give, the more you'll get. That's it. It really is. It's all love. I don't know what I don't know what life looks like after this one is over. I don't know what experience we go to, what our consciousness does. But I feel like while we're here, the point of this is to really enjoy each other's gifts and our differences and to share that with each other and to feed our souls. Yeah. Otherwise, we're just out here making a mess. And what is that about?
Yeah. Well, again, I love you. I thank you so much.
I love you too, and I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you as well, but I did want, like I said, I want to share this information on Black Trans Lives Matter, because honestly, I feel like people are even a little confused in general about it. So I appreciate you even, kind of talking about that, with me. And I'm so glad we could kind of celebrate you. In the meantime, you're an awesome, lovely lady that needs to be celebrated at all costs. So,
and I'll give you my Cash App is, not Cash App, my Venmo is just at Mila Jam Jam.
Mila Jam Jam.
Yes, 2 jams.
I'm going to post it. I'll put it on here as well, but at Mila Jam Jam, Venmo.
I love you.
Love you, my dog.
Be safe and take care of yourself.
Thank you so much. We shall overcome. Love you. Bye, boo.
Bye.